Hello, and welcome to the Sun-Dried Bunnies Podcast. It is I, Sol, back once again with the ill behaviour, and it is my co-host, the one and only Big Potato. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
We're seeing you in such a different perspective. I'm not used to it.
I know.
Is this you in business form? Because this is your work computer, correct? Is this what you look like when you're on video calls and stuff like that?
Kind of.
Oh,
My
okay.
computer's usually a little bit farther over that way.
I see.
But yeah, for the most part.
And you've got your pink pig.
Yes. It's a pillow pet, but I've been using it just as like a cuddle.
I love it.
Buddy.
I love it. We're about to go live. So I've got to get my pig. I love it. How is everyone? Welcome in. I see you there. Potato was there first. She put it first. Hi Josh, how you doing? Yeah, if I get security breach, don't you worry, we're playing that. Chungy's here. Jack's here. Love to see you guys. Harley, of course, here being the mod with the modest. That made no sense. Shani's on her phone. Thank you so much. Panda's here as well, and Naomi, the lovely Naomi. Welcome everyone, and everyone else out there. Hello, and I know why you're here. You're here to see. Oh, it's JD. Hey, J-Day. Well, I didn't know you had the name change, JJ.
I like that.
That's great. Good to see you. It's really good to see you. Well, you're here because our guest this evening is the wonderful UpAlone, who will be joining us in just a few minutes. Don't you worry. But we welcome everyone here. Welcome everyone in to the Sun-Dried Bunnies Podcast back once again. Well, it's been 2 weeks since we were last here. Is it 2 weeks? Yeah, it was 2 weeks since we had Ray here. I believe that which was fantastic. Gray was wonderful. Really took the community. People loved her. Potato, how have you been since? How have you been?
I've been pretty good. Fairly busy, but pretty good. I've been playing Pokemon and actually reading a book, which is really unlike me. I haven't read a book in like years.
In a book? She's getting all posh on us.
Yeah. Very strange.
No, that's great. That's actually quite apropos, I think, for our guest this evening, or reading a book. But yes, you've also turned into a potato at one point.
I did.
Yes.
Potato with headphones and in like a sort of spaceship looking thing.
Quite startling if you went on to. It was quite good because we had Ray on, who does sometimes have a potato as an avatar, and I believe it was the next day. Here is Potato's stream, and I'm a potato, literally a potato with headphones on a Star Wars ship or something, I believe. Stop copying me by reading. We all read at some point, Charlie. I read that message.
No, I'm definitely copying Shani.
Oh, okay. Josh there mentioned the Last of Us series. I have a few announcements to make. I thought this would be a great time to do it right now. Get them out of the way. As some of these shows, it's quite, I think, apparent in terms of it being something people look forward to. So I want to get a few things out of the way. Next week, next Sunday, is the return in 2022 of Twatch, the comedy panel show. If you haven't seen previous episodes, you can check them out on the Discord. It is literally a kind of Whose Line Is It Anyway meets, if you're British, Mock the Week, or a quiz show like comedy improv like thing. And it's our Valentine's special next week. We're going to have Meatloaf with his partner Jezebel going up against Puns, our regular team captain, with her actual real life partner Jimmy. So that's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. You don't want to miss this Valentine's special. Also, if you are a subscriber, hey Meatloaf, how you doing, mate? If you are a subscriber here, or if maybe you're thinking about subscribing, but those emotes, those emotes look a bit shit, or they're not good. There's a few duplicates. Well, that's changing because we here at SolTheSeeker.com, we here are changing some of the emotes up. We're getting brand new ones. FPG, welcome in. I have commissioned a selection of wonderful emotes to be made, a few animated ones. Just to give you an idea of what they are, we're going to have a PogChamp emote. We're going to have a new Laugh Out Loud emote, a Scared emote, me as a zombie, me as Rincewind the Wizard from the Terry Pratchett novels, me as Willy Wonka, although that probably would be changed to Wanker. We're going to have an animated crying emote, an animated winking emote, although that, I just had a bloody stroke, an animated fish emote possibly, and an animated twerking emote. And if you want to see a little bit of a preview of that, you can check out the Discord. They're being made by the wonderful Galaxine, whose work is seen across the board here on Twitch and the community, and obviously my profile picture, which is wonderful. What does Know Your Role do? Josh, what that does is it'll give you a very special role in the Discord. So when you appear online in the side, you can have a title that is yours and yours alone. So yes, Le Gasp, says Naomi. Yes, absolutely. I think you're going to enjoy these. A lot more of my face. So my last announcement before we get started here tonight is a lot of people don't know what I'm actually going to be doing going forward in terms of what am I playing. I've mentioned we're doing an escape room tonight after the podcast, and maybe start Dark Deception. But I've been quite quiet about what we're going to do. I've played a lot of unique and weird games for the last couple of months. And what I wanted to do was bring you something that maybe you're a bit more familiar with. So what I've done is I have got a collection of games that are very narrative driven and have some of the best twists in narratives around. So just to name them, I'm going to name them now, and then they'll just see if they're on playing them, you know. So first of all, we're going to finish Dead Space. We started it last year, we never actually finished it, and I think the reason I started that was because it has a great narrative, horror game, it's a great game, we're going to finish that game. We're going to play Life is Strange, the first series. Yeah, there we go. Love that, Potato recognise it. We're going to play Life is Strange, time travelling shenanigans at high school, or wherever it is, college, I can't remember. We played Portal last year, and we're going to play the sequel, Portal 2, with our lovable Stephen Merchant playing Wheatley. We're going to be replaying Bioshock. That's right, I'm going to give everyone a new perspective. The first thing I played here was Bioshock, and I did a weekly series analysing it. I'm going to play through the game, not in a weekly format, but we're going to play through it again and give everyone a taste of what I did before. A lot of people, we've got a lot of new followers and a lot of new people since then that may have not experienced what I can bring to the table to that game. We're going to go back and play the original Final Fantasy VII, a little bit of nostalgia. Batman Arkham City, because it does have one of the best twists of that series. I'm gonna, for the first time, I'm gonna play Spec Ops: The Line, which is notorious for being covered in subtext and not what it appears on the surface. I've never played it before, so it's going to be the first time playthrough. And Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. I've actually never played the 5th entry in the game because I steered clear of it. So, my sister has every Bioshock game. Well then, she is very fortunate to have them. They're great games. So that's everything that's coming up. We've got new emotes, a whole collection of games coming up being played, and Twatch is back next week. So that's enough of that nonsense. I think it's time, Potato, I think it is time to get our lovable bookworm. That is the one I call the French Bombshell. She is up alone. Yay!
This was a dramatic cue.
How are you, Up Alone? It is good to see you here. It's wonderful to have you on the podcast.
It's lovely to be here. I'm afraid I must disappoint. I recently got my genetic test results back. I am not French.
I know, and I've called you a French bombshell.
We're all very disappointed. All the British people just sat there like,
yep.
What do you make fun of now?
I even have the salute. I even animated it. No, I know.
I'm more Irish than I'm French. It's so weird.
Oh dear. Up Alone, this podcast, even though I don't think you knew, was actually booked back when Soulfest began, back in June, July, when we first started this podcast, because I knew this week was my anniversary week, and it was very special to me. If anyone doesn't know, this Thursday and Friday I had my 1 year streaming anniversary, and as this was Sunday right next to it, I thought it was only right that the person I have on here, the guest, the wonderful guest I can showcase, is not only the very first person I ever met on Twitch and saw live and spoke to, but also my very first friend I made here, and my very first follower. That is UpAlone. So thank you very much for waiting patiently. I didn't forget you.
A pleasure and an honour, and I won't be petty and mention that Base was your first subscriber because he's cheeky.
I know. He mentions it every chance he gets.
I know, he's very proud of it. He keeps reminding me, I was his first subscriber. I know, wow, God.
That's brilliant. That's wonderful. I love that. Feed my ego. No, that's wonderful.
Yes, we definitely argue over you. Like, no, I love him, or no, I love him, or no, how dare you. This is actually a conversation, uncensored, that happened.
I love that. That's wonderful. It was awesome. I remember UpAlone, when I've seen UpAlone stream, and Base came in and was just so rude. It was just so outlandish and rude, and I was like, I'm so polite and shy because I was like, I don't know how this works. Like, how much can you get away with? Am I going to get banned? What am I going to do? And so it took a while for me to get out of my shell, but Base helped with that because he was just full on. And when he came over and followed me, and then obviously subbed, I really still didn't know who he was, to be honest with you. It really surprised me. So yeah, it's wonderful because through you, I've met so many wonderful individuals. And I've met you, so it's great to have you here. So UpAlone, let's start from where it began. Why did you begin this journey into streaming?
It's in the name, actually. I was just up and alone, and I was insomniac, couldn't sleep.
Oh, right.
Working many hours in a shift system at the airport, so I was on and off. I'd have an afternoon where I wanted to sleep but couldn't, or middle of the night where I wanted to sleep and couldn't. Oh. So a friend of mine recommended, hey, can't go out, can't really meet friends and be socializing, just try Twitch. And I think the very first time I actually streamed on Twitch was not through a PC. It was when I still had my PS4 and I played Kingdom Hearts.
Potato.
Exactly, that's when I met you, actually. Potato, you were playing Kingdom Hearts. I'm like, what is bring back memories? So I think there is a random clip still of that Kingdom Hearts bit, because it was completely random. I was on PS4 and had Twitch on, didn't speak, didn't have a webcam, just like, well, I'm playing games, why not stream? And then, last year, but about a year ago, actually, my anniversary was sometime 2 weeks ago, I think. It's not something like that.
Okay.
Good check. Should check. Anyway, that I started doing PC streaming on Twitch, and I started with I played Don't Starve Together with a friend who used to stream, Grim.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I think I started playing. I tried to play Raft and it didn't go well, and then I went into the point and click Monkey Island and Broken Sword, where you and I ran into each other.
Speaking my language now, Kingdom Hearts point and click adventure games. Yes, I still remember that stream. Yeah. It doesn't feel just over a year ago. It feels like I've known you forever. Like this whole year, it's been so crazy and it's wonderful and life changing. It really has been. And yeah, I still remember coming in and Broken Sword 2. You were playing at the time, Smoky Mirror. Yeah. And you were in the warehouse as well, the warehouse section. And I was like, I really don't want to tell you what to do.
but at the same time.
But I'll give you a clue or a hint or a little. I was doing little riddles or the best I could to sort of
exactly. We weren't trying to backseat, but at the same time we were like, there's an answer there. You can find it. I don't want to give it to you.
Exactly. I was like, I didn't want to. I didn't know these terms like backseat and stuff like that. I am completely new to it when I came into streaming. No idea, but I knew that I also didn't want to overstep my mark because I felt like it wouldn't be polite to just go do that. And now, since I've seen people do it, you're like, oh, well, I was glad I had that mentality to begin with. But yeah, it was kind of like, maybe I'll just give a little hint a little nudge in a fun way, because why not? Because that's a little game in of itself. It was like you had to block the elevator with some sticky tape.
Yes.
That was it, and I was trying to find loads of different ways to kind of like tell you to push the box into the elevator and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. Hey Daisy, how you doing? Hey, welcome in.
You were legitimately one of the highlights. Every time I started streaming, I was hoping you'd be in my chat, because we had such lovely conversations. You actually helped time pass, and then when you actually started streaming, well, you didn't. We discussed you starting streaming before you started streaming.
That's right. Yes.
And I remember the big plans you had, and the your description, your profile description, which was so much more different than who you are now, and the journey you took and the path you walked and showed.
Very true. Very much an idea I was sort of trying to walk into. It was like already there. I believe Potato even said that she thought I'd streamed based on the fact that I had everything already there when she arrived.
I clicked on your name and to see like if you streamed, because I was like, oh, if this person streams, like I'll follow them. And I was like, oh wow, they're like an established streamer, like follow.
So yeah, it was very important for me to have an identity, like to create Soul, and so it was kind of like, well, that was a name and an idea, and I walked into it, and it didn't take into account the interaction and the growth that comes from that, especially considering I genuinely thought I was gonna be sitting there to no one, maybe Eddie, my mate Eddie, and that maybe I'll just stick them on YouTube, and maybe that will be where I grow, because Twitch wouldn't work. And then to have that first stream 1 year ago, yesterday technically, time zones were different. I went past midnight, so technically it was both days. But to have that first stream and then to have 17 people walk in, it was insane. And just I couldn't believe it, and it's just been amazing ever since. But I will never forget those early streams, because obviously I had more time as well, and I would stop in before I went to work. If UpAlone was on, I was there, but maybe it was only 40 minutes, maybe an hour, but I would dedicate my time to be at UpAlone streams and to just chill out, because you would have really good vibes. It was a great place to go to just be at peace before I had to go and do something bloody horrible, be in pain, and I could come to you and so how did you choose the games? Because you definitely went from you always played kind of very calm games, very calm and relaxing games. Was that a conscious idea of yours?
It's mostly because so, for example, you remember when I tried playing Fallout, yeah? Yeah,
I do actually, yeah.
So it's not a calm game, and I don't react calmly to these situations. So one of my mates, one of my French friends, would come and pop in, and he made a clip of me panicking when I first encountered the zombie-like creatures, because I was ghouls. I was terrified out of my mind, and just shrieked to a very high level, and we're like, you know what, I'm more of a base building kind of type. I'm okay with it. No, that's okay. No, I'm a coward. I'm okay. And I had the same with Subnautica, for example. I started streaming Subnautica because it is one of my favorite games, and I love playing it off stream. Right. But if there's a camera, I will remember that people are watching me, and for some reason my fear is heightened, because I feel like I need to keep track of the chat, I need to keep track of this and keep track of that, and then there's a noise happening, and I'm like,
yeah, that could be quite overwhelming. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to tempt him, but Meatloaf and the Extenders have become a staple here. Like, he pays 50.
That sounds like a band name.
It does, doesn't it? But he pays 50 bits every time to just scare the hell out of me with this one out of context phrase from an Alan Partridge episode, and he'll relentlessly do it. He'll get me every time. Don't matter what I'm playing, what I'm doing.
I had that with the sheep scream thing.
Oh, I remember that. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I did not like it. At the same time, it's a good wake-up call. So the reasons I stuck to calmer games is because having a very stressful job.
Oh, I see.
At the time, it was I'm in a very tense situation throughout a professional setting for at least 8 to 12 hours a day. Even if sometimes most shifts were just sitting and relaxing and giggling with colleagues or whatever, there was always something happening during the day that required full concentration and activity and being on call and ready and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I used to work airport security in Germany. So basically the security you go through as a passenger, any employee goes through, but in a stricter kind of thing. So employees are scanned and searched, and their vehicles are scanned and searched, and their personal items are scanned and searched, and then we do rounds and that kind of stuff. Anyway, so it was 180 to 200 hours a month shift work. So the reason I stuck to very calm games is because I needed to settle.
Yes, that is perfectly understandable, I feel.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is why every streamer I started following and lurking into chats and just go like, no, you know what, I just like your voice, just keep talking, don't mind me, just gotta fall asleep.
Well, that's actually, I was going to say Naomi Dreams.
Yes.
I met her through you during a raid, and the first thing that I was basically met with was this lovely, calm voice.
Exactly.
This wonderful music, this calm game.
Exactly.
And
this nurturing, calm, warm. She's even more loving off screen. Like she's really, really love Naomi. Anyway,
I bloody love Naomi. She is absolutely amazing. She's got Naomi Crafts now as well.
I have not been able to. Yeah, it's on my list.
Bothering me. I can't get there. But I absolutely we love you, Naomi. Absolutely.
She really love you. She's definitely one of the streamers I recommend because not only is she soothing, warm, and friendly, and genuinely loving, but she provides genuine content by being herself. That makes sense.
Right. Absolutely.
So there's no tension. There's no today is going to be like this and tomorrow is going to be different, and behind the scenes I'm going to treat you differently. That kind of stuff. It's Yeah. I remember I used to talk to Naomi through. Well, I met Bass through one of those streamers I randomly met on Twitch because he had a calming voice. So it was a chain of reaction, for example. The same way you came onto Twitch and ran into me, I started an account on Twitch to follow a YouTuber whose videos I liked mostly because of his calming voice and to be quite blunt, he had the voice very similar to a friend I had just lost.
Oh, okay.
So his YouTube videos was just like a bit of an emotional band-aid. Yeah. And then he stopped uploading YouTube videos, so I was like, where's my drug? Where's my cake? Where's my stuff? What's going on? And so I joined Twitch, created an account, and was called something different before I was called UpAlone.
Oh, I don't think I knew that. No.
Actually, I was. Yeah, no, I'm not going into that.
No, that's okay. No, that's all right. I just didn't know.
It was a gaming tag, and it was.
There's a story there, isn't there?
And I went onto one of his streams, and he was like, "Actually, I just don't stream that much anymore. I don't do much videos anymore. So sorry." And I started looking into more people that had this soothing voice and stream where I could fall asleep to, which was basically what I did. For example, if you don't, I'm sure you recall, when you started doing songs on stream.
Oh, yes. I
was like, sing me to sleep, thank you, bye.
Oh, dear.
You were basically my good night's sleep. I was like, safe zone, happy friends, happy.
I love how it used to be, I will send people to sleep with my voice, and now it's Eric Idle singing I'll Do Anything for Love and Wonderwall, and everyone's crying.
As I said, big change.
Yeah, no, big change. No, I still do
Still
those.
love your streams.
I still do those songs for you. Don't you worry. I promise. I did always look on the bright side of life just 2 days ago, actually. So there you go. I've still got them. Yeah.
I remember when you would bring a diverse item, a random item, that kind of stuff.
Oh yes, show me something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would now.
I like that you still have the.
Oh, my characters.
Exactly.
So,
it escalated. It grew into something.
Really
it started with wigs, and it started with the raggedy doll, and it just. At some point, I just sat on my chair looking at you, being you, and went like, "This is not at all what I expected, and I love it." There is never a stream that, when you stream, there's never blatant repetition. There's not.
Right.
It's not boring.
Yeah.
It's never been boring.
Oh, well,
that is amazing. Even when it was soothing and safe, it never was boring.
I really appreciate that. I think I said to someone earlier in the week that one thing I really didn't want to ever do was become stale, predictable, or anything like that. I change a lot of my commands and redeems all the time. Obviously for the podcast, obviously we take those away for the sake of the show, but I'm always trying to get something new and fresh, and just every time you come here there might be something that you haven't experienced yet. One of the best things I do, and I still love it to this day, is when someone new redeems Tell Me a Tale, and I say give me 3 words, and they have no idea what's to come, and then I give them a 3 to 5 minute story about Gavin usually, and
I think Gavin.
Yeah, but like Gavin, and I love that because their response is genuine. They're like, "What is happening right now? What have I created?" And I love that. I love doing that. Thank you for the hydrate for saying.
Flabbergasted is definitely a word that is accurate. There's not one stream where one sits there and doesn't go, "Okay, I like it. Give me more." You know, it's love it or hate it. Anyone that doesn't love it has issues they need to work on.
It's very kind of you. It really is. Because I do love this. There's a passion for this that has grown. I've always wanted to be a content creator, and I failed so many times on YouTube, and I just found this platform. I've invested so much money into it, but it's like this is it. I feel I can do this. But again, like you said, that was an idea. But then when people really just wanted me, it became okay. If you want me, let's start shifting gears a bit here. And now, you know, it's grown, but I'm loving it because the passion's coming through via me and not some idea of me. So there's nothing false about it, nothing fake. The persona. You remember, I've spoken quite openly about me having a bit of a breakdown, to be honest with you, a few weeks into streaming. I'd only streamed about a month, maybe less, and I remember that weekend very specifically. I came to your stream, I think, on the Friday, and I was just like, I'm not doing too good, and you could tell something was wrong, I think, beforehand. And then we had this long conversation over that weekend, and it was just, I realised that what I was doing was not true to myself, I feel, and that I needed to kind of embrace what was happening, that this is a social platform, and there are wonderful people here that I've met. Embrace them, let them embrace you. Don't be something you're not, basically, on a pretense that is what is going to be successful. And so very, very much so I contribute a lot of what I'm doing now and what has changed to not only you, but that conversation very particular, and the fact that you cared enough to even acknowledge me and take me aside. I remember us playing Viscera Cleanup Crew just off stream, just together, having a wonderful conversation. It was
very cathartic.
Yeah, absolutely. I learned a lot, not just about yourself, because that was wonderful to get to know you in that way, but also I learned a lot about myself. I feel it's through those kind of conversations and through people like yourself that because it's not BS. You're 100% genuine, and you'll give your honest opinion. You won't try and tell me what I want to hear or anything like that. Sometimes we need that, but you really do it in a way that is very thoughtful of my emotions as well. You're not like blunt to the point of being like an arse to me.
Just, because I genuinely care.
Because you genuinely care.
People that would say the contrary about me. Believe you me, there are people that have me on their list of, oh, well, she's a mean one. Yes, I am mean when I do something that is horrible and I don't like it.
Base, say you do. Like, that room looks familiar, doesn't it? I was looking at that bottle opener on the wall.
Yes, Space Rocker Gone Wild. You are unfamiliar with the setting. Look at my beautiful artwork. There's beautiful lighting, and I have instruments.
Yeah, bang out a tune. Come on.
I think that's a guitar.
You think?
I think he just had a mouth from it. And I have a bottle opener here, that kind of stuff. You're welcome to join me.
I love when you touch that if it fell off the wall. Just perfect.
That's why I was very gentle touching it, because I was like, I don't trust it. I'm not the one that put it on there.
How you doing, Vice? Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. It took back guitars. Look at potatoes over there. Look at that. Always shine them off. Look. Never playing them on stream. What's going on? Oi!
Anyway.
Where's Wendy tonight? Where's Wendy tonight?
She is somewhere else. I don't know.
Oh, poor Wendy. Lost. I've forgotten about. I don't even care, says Potato. No, hey, you say that. I sometimes I feel like, maybe I rub people up the wrong way. I can be. The thing about being an improv comedian is that sometimes your mouth is quicker than your brain, and sometimes I'm very familiar with Harley, and I'm very familiar with Meatloaf and Potato, and I can probably get away with a bit of banter that may not be appropriate to someone who may not be as familiar. But then maybe sometimes I might feel like we're close enough, and then I feel like I may have stepped the mark a little bit. Sometimes that is true, and I will apologise to someone. They're like, "No, it's fine, it's fine." But then sometimes I'll get a message. It's like, "Hey, that's happened several times. Like, hey, well, I appreciate it if you didn't do that." And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I never want to, do anything remotely to hurt anyone out there in any way, whether minor or major or whatever. But it's sometimes I feel like maybe people might hold a grudge, and unfortunately, quite a lot of people that I may have. Locked horns with, that happens. It's natural. We're in a social situation. We're all almost sharing the same house on this platform. There's gonna sometimes be conflict. I've put some differences aside with people and reconnected, and I love the fact that I've been able to do that, because there was never ill will to begin with, at all. No, we don't want to put negative shit out there, right? At all. Yeah.
Someday.
Yeah, it's just like you said, you come here to relax, though. Oh, that reminds me. You said relaxing voices.
Yes.
I think everyone in this community, once or another, thanks to myself, perhaps as an extension through Harley or Shani, have gone to Doc Havoc.
Doc Havoc. One of my favourite people on Twitch.
You blessed us with Doc, I feel. This community is blessed with Doc.
He has made so many funny artwork based on lore for me, and he is the creator of the not French bulldogs, but the bulldogs that are French. Yeah, big difference.
Okay.
That lead the revolution.
Oh yes.
Of stolen pants, trousers, sorry, and slap people with fish if they try to fight them. And this happened randomly. He has one of the most amazing active imaginations, and his voice is. So his time zone is so that when he starts streaming, it's around like 4 a.m. So if I'm actually awake when he starts streaming, it's like I immediately migrate and go, "Hello, I'm here to sleep," and he goes like, "No, good night."
Absolutely, it's perfect time for me to do the same. Perfect time for me to do the same. Absolutely, and his games, he always plays fantastic games. He's just wonderful. Any chance I get, we go to Doc. Harley's the same. Harley usually finishes around the time he's on as well. It's like Doc's on, okay, Doc. Yeah, it's wonderful, and not a lot of people Oh, we love Doc. Doc is amazing. Absolutely, absolutely. But yes, Potato, I think you actually only recently met Doc, didn't you, after all this time? It wasn't that long
I think
ago.
very recently.
Yeah, very recently. Which is, I'm surprised because you've been around for so long. And that's something that I used to stream in the middle of the night, so UpAlone, as you say, you were going to sleep, and a lot of people that I met through you were never able really to get to my streams at all. I was this late night entity, which was quite nice because it made me feel a little bit more adult. But but being able to now stream earlier means that I've been able to really get to know a lot of the people that I've met via you, which is absolutely wonderful because I love every single one of them. Late Night Gremlin Soul. Thank you very much. Where'd the gremlin come from? They do feed me after midnight. They do Cheez-Its, usually. Thanks to Potato.
Very funny how
yes, I've got a smart button.
how so many people connected via through each other, right? So
That's true.
I met Naomi through base. Doc was a third-party casualty, kind of. And since his time zone is the USA, it's really, one of the time zones in the USA, it's really difficult for anyone else from that group to show up. So it was when I was awake and popping into his stream, he didn't have the people that I used to interact with from that group weren't there. So it was like a really nice chat, but at the same time we would still interact in written, and he's a genuinely good person. So I met Base through Shadow.
Yes. Yep.
Shadow. Yeah. So not directly through Shadow. Shadow was playing Subnautica.
And
he has this
tiny corn dog. Sorry about that. Carry on.
Sorry?
I was just saying thank you to Mr. Tiny Corn Dog there for the follow. Hello, welcome in. The notification went over you, so I thought I'd just ignore the chat. So I can ask you to continue.
So Shadow was playing Subnautica, and he had this very soothing thing going on. Obviously, I was going for that. And then he raided the Abatashi because she was playing Humans Fall Flat.
We played that on Southwest, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
That's right, yeah.
And that game is Mermaid Base.
I didn't know that.
They were playing together, and he has this manic laugh.
Oh, right.
We know the laugh. And he had just this vibrant personality that makes you like, oh, hey, that sounds fun. And even if you don't see him, you just hear him, and you go like, there's this interesting thing going on. And I would go into his streams, met so many different people through him, and so when you say you met them through me, you actually met them through Base.
I suppose by extension of that is true, but it was, but I could never get a Base's stream. That was the issue. I was always working when Base was on, so it really was via extension through you. But we actually, our bot, me and Potato's bot in the Discord is called the Bridge Builder, because it was thanks to seeing you and meeting all these wonderful people that I wanted to kind of do the same. I call you guys like the five pillars, because there's yourself UpAlone, Jezebel, At Midnight Sun, Nini Bell, and Death Violets, right? And I would devote my entire time to be at your streams from start to finish as much as I could. I loved you guys. We became instant friends, and via you five, I met loads of other people, and then it was just like, I want to bring not just whoever my audience becomes, but also just bring you guys together in any way, shape, or form I can, because I love all of you, and I think Potato can agree, it's the best feeling when you bring these two. Because for us, we're fans. Like, as you say, like you go to a stream, you're not a streamer in that chat. You are a follower. You are just as much an audience member, and that's the best mentality to have. And bringing those people together is a wonderful moment. And I think Potato had that recently as well, where she also brought people together for the first time. And you were like, I can't believe I brought this person to midnight, and it was, just I can't believe it. Jess and Nini meeting for the first time. It took me 10 months of knowing them both, for them both to be on, for me to go, you need to finally meet Nini Bell. and they hit it off instantly. It was amazing to see. I love it, and the same. It was through you. It was like, I can't believe I've met all these wonderful people, and they all stream as well. And now I get to meet them and see the same people in a different environment and meet them, and that's amazing that we can do that, and that grows. Because it's not just my community, your community, your community, that community. It's a bigger thing at that point. We're all towns building bridges towards each other. I just love that. Absolutely love that. Very good at flattery. Flatter away. Speaking of connections, Hamster found my streams through UpAlone. I love Hamster. He's got his own song here to my channel. So I owe Hamster dreams to you. Oh, that's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Awesome.
That is really one of the nicest. Honestly, Naomi dreams.
And we dream of Naomi. No, that is wonderful. I think that's great, because that's just really great positive vibes that we put out there and bring people together. And a lot of people have met up in real life as well, which is also incredible. Like, I woke up on Christmas Day. Okay, I do not celebrate Christmas at all, but I really had the best Christmas ever, and not just because of all of you wonderful people, how generous you were coming to me on Christmas Day. I streamed Christmas Day as well, and all of you even showed up. But I woke up Christmas Day to a notification from Steam, and Naomi had gifted me Inscription, which we recently played on stream. Everyone loved the game. It was an amazing experience, but just, I don't know what I did to deserve that. And that level of generosity that is out there in the world, that goodwill, that positivity, that we're friends and we do these kind of things for each other. That's something I've never had in my life, and to be part of this and to just be here and say to you and tell this to you, because it started with you as far as I'm concerned, is just wonderful. That a year on that we could be here on a podcast that I do.
Very touched.
It really is. That's right. It means so much to me. But I'm really gonna switch gears now, if you don't mind.
Good idea. I'm getting emotional.
Yes, and talk about fan fiction.
Sorry?
Fan fiction. Okay. No, don't worry. I haven't written one.
No, I just don't like that topic.
Well,
You know why.
There was a lot of streams in which you could redeem on UpAlone's channel for Up to Read a fan fiction that I will never soon forget.
It was traumatizing, horrible, an instant to literature, writing, Harry Potter, any kind of fandom, and I had repressed it. You just dug out like.
Yeah. Oh, I'm afraid. I am. I'm digging it up.
There is no amount of writing that ever put me in situations where I was hateful, disgusted, laughing till I cried, and hating myself for reading it, especially out loud in a public platform.
I can't believe that. You actually regret doing that?
It was a lot of fun.
Oh, okay,
but
good.
At the same time, it scarred my soul.
Oh, yeah, it did scar me. It did scar me, you're right.
It scarred
It scarred your
that was
soul.
involved.
It scarred your soul.
It scarred my soul, indeed.
I couldn't miss it. But talk about traumatised. I was mesmerised as well. It because you have a wonderful voice, I've got to admit. So to hear you reading this filth/nonsense, because let's face it, it was very much stitched together haphazardly, which must have tore your heart out.
It almost ruined one of my favourite games, because I would read it on Family Friendly Friday. So the theme of Family Friendly Friday was I would play a family friendly game, and it was a family friendly environment. Because one of my mods and longtime friend, Viking Alex, casually pointed out that I had gone from, very calm and soothing to incredibly rude and smutty. So there's an imbalance going on. I was like, I'm just having fun.
Sort of did the same.
Yeah, it's just the true personality takes over, and you're like,
it does. Yeah.
So I tried to go back to Family Friendly Friday, and I started with Nino Cooney, the first one.
I remember Nina Cooney. Yeah, I was excited for those streams. Yeah.
And a friend at the time recommended I do a naughty counter. So every time I cursed or said anything naughty, add one to the counter, and to get a point off the counter, read a chapter of something she chose, which was this horrible piece of trash that I didn't know about, and she knew was known to be one of the worst pieces of crap ever written. And there is an ongoing investigation that's never going to be solved. Was it written badly on purpose?
Yeah, I remember us discussing.
Or is it just that bad? Is it just that racist, homophobic swirl of maybe a teenage pseudo emo girl wrote it with her friend as an editor, and you go, I can remember a quote that traumatized me was, we talked together in silence. And honestly, this pissed me off so much. I read this sentence, like, we talked together in silence, and stopped. I'm like,
I love the fact that everything that you had read out from that was the one. I get it. I totally get it. But
there was so much wrong with this. Yeah, there was the funny bits. There was the really awful paedophiliac things going on, and the comments that were supposed to be like, well, she's a teenager, but the adults want her too because she's that sexy, and you go, ugh.
it really was gag-inducing.
Oh, it's just. I can't remember the title of it. I can't remember the name of it.
I don't remember the title of it. No, because what was it?
I don't remember what it was. It was a Harry Potter fanfiction.
It was,
known to be the worst fanfiction ever written. And that bit, we talked together in silence. It's just. That's when I.
The reason why this was probably so much traumatizing is your love for literature.
And Harry Potter. And I used to write Harry Potter fanfiction as a kid, so it was like a variation of things that made me. Sorry.
Okay. No, that's absolutely fine. I didn't even know you enjoyed fan fiction in general. Because I was not really aware of fan fiction as a thing. I've never really encountered it until you came along with that. Which
I'm really sorry. That's
bad gateway.
It.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some top quality stuff out there, but.
But the Cursed Child, the new drivel. Sorry, some people must like it. I'm very judgmental about it. So the Cursed Child is based on fan fiction, for example.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
So there was this huge, massive Harry Potter fan fiction thing, and when I was 2007, I think I joined. So I was. Math, 14, 15, numbers.
Yeah.
I was a young teenager when I joined the online Harry Potter fanfiction forum, which is where I met a lot of my long-time standing friends.
Right. Okay.
Because it was similar to Twitch, but with more anonymity. A massive community of big nerds.
Right. Okay.
Like. So nerdy, we had Quidditch games every year on the forums. That's how I even started using Discord. On the forum, yeah. So we had a thread, and so there was the Keeper and Batters, and oh my god, it's been so long, I can't even remember the proper names. And everybody had a role, and basically, if you have a Badger coming at you, the Badger has to go like, no, block. And it was just so nerdy. And that's how I even got to Discord.
Oh, I see.
Because we would communicate our Quidditch games on Discord.
Gotcha. Right. It all comes together, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So where did your love for books begin? At a young age, I'm assuming?
Yeah. I started reading when I was 2. So I come from a very literate family. So my grandmother on my mama's side would push reading a lot, and my mother very much supported it. So when I was 2, I got my first kid books. Obviously, the first. I still have it. Well, not right now because all my stuff is in storage, but I still have one of my first books, which is You know these image books for kids with the words, and you have an image and a word?
Yes, yeah.
So mine was based on classic paintings.
Oh.
To explain the level of Asian mom, yeah? So I had the learn your words, but you learn it with classic paintings. That way you also learn the artists and the Renaissance and the eras and the years and that stuff.
Wow, well, that seems quite advanced, to be honest with you. But hey, I suppose that actually has an effect. So I suppose, you know.
I'm a big fan of Botticelli. My mother hates him. We have big arguments about it.
Love it.
People have problems, and we have arguments about Botticelli or.
You should see the last two streams I did. We played these point and click adventure games that take famous Renaissance paintings and use them as the characters and the backdrops, and it's very Monty Python-esque in its humour. It's very self-referential, meta, and just absolutely hilarious.
Sorry, I missed that.
And they're absolutely beautiful. Obviously, because they're Renaissance paintings, but they've been expertly crafted into a video game. I can't recommend them enough.
What's the name of the game?
The first one was called Four Last Things, and the second was called The Procession to Cavalry. I'll definitely send them to you, absolutely, because I think you would absolutely love them. And we had a lot of fun playing those games. And the last two VODs, anyone who wants to see them, you know, later. But yes,
I managed to catch one.
Yeah. They're not completely long games either. So we beat one on the last two streams each. That I kept them for the anniversary because I added a lot of Monty Python stuff to them as well, just to keep up the kind of theme. And I like that it bases Beaters, Keeper, and Seeker. And Seeker was the one you missed out. That's my name.
I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Also, big Tubi Chungus, that's Harry Potter fan figures, mainly Harry and Hermione. You forget Hermione. You forget the entire Draco and Hermione thing going, which is almost bigger than Harry and Hermione.
Oh dear.
Yeah. I used to ship Severus Snape and Minerva McGonagall just to piss people off.
You're such an antagonist, aren't you?
Yeah, it was so much fun too. Right? I think the weirdest pairing I had was Luna Lovegood and Lavender Brown. That also got a weird reaction. It was funny.
Are they all romantic and sexual?
Very sexual.
Are they all like that though?
No.
Okay, I'm just curious because like I've written spec scripts for sitcoms as sort of a kind of like show of what I can do. So I've made like Red Dwarf episodes and Red Blackadder episodes and stuff like that, and I posted them around to get some feedback on them. That's technically fiction, fan fiction. No one had sex in there.
Well, the sexual aspect is, if you want to go with the psychology, the sexual aspect is usually when it's teenagers writing, experimenting with the sexual frustration and curiosity.
That makes
so
it's
expressed.
sense, actually. Yeah.
So it's expressed in writing based on a premise that is known and familiar and loved and feels safe. So Harry Potter in that scenario. So the most famous fan fictions will sadly be the really, really bad ones because they're so much fun.
Right.
I can actually recommend one of the websites got turned on because there was a huge internal drama.
No, it always is drama.
Oh, there's always some weird drama going on, and basically it escalated into the owner was struggling to keep the servers going because it was growing and growing and growing. The mods started complaining to their friends, members, that they were doing the work for free, and now money is going into the servers and not seeing a dime of it. So obviously the owner is keeping the money, and then the owner went like, you know what? That is. I'm done with this. I've been doing this for 15 years on my own time without making one dime. And you think, what? I'm in a villa in Spain sipping wine. He just like exploded and then just like shut everything down.
Damn. Yeah.
Wow.
I feel there's always going to be some turmoil in some community. You know, too many heads and egos sometimes get together in one place. So Obviously, so that you talked about kids' books. I just want to talk about Potato is reading a book right now.
Yes.
We need to know what this book is so we can cast judgment.
Oh?
Yeah, so what is the book?
No, let's not.
It's called Project Hail Mary. It's a science fiction book.
Ooh.
It's pretty good so far.
I've never heard of it. What's the concept?
I think it's fairly new. It's written by the same person who wrote The Martian.
Oh, is it really?
Oh.
That's fascinating.
Which I haven't read, but, you know.
I haven't either, just heard of it.
Yeah.
What's the film?
Yeah, I've only seen the film, but I was aware of the book, and I've watched a documentary, or I watched one documentary about the film and its connections to the book and its scientific principles in reality. And then I met another video. I watched another video, which mainly just talked about the film itself and how it was absolutely atrocious compared to the book.
Oh really?
Yeah, but I didn't think it was a valid point they were making. So I hadn't read the book, to be fair.
The Hail Mary Pats, you said.
But you know,
Project Hail Mary.
Project Hail Mary. So what's it about?
Well, you know how I am with giving summaries.
Oh, this is quite infamous, actually. What have I done?
I also should probably not summarize it because I don't want to give anything away, and I don't know like what parts are like I don't know like if you look at like the summary on the back of the book, if like I don't know what that says, so I don't want to like say something that's not there and then give something away. And...
Okay. Well,
but
we've got.
You like it so far?
I do, yeah.
We've got a mystery science fiction book, and once Potato has read it, we would expect a full summary that will probably be just as long as the book. You know?
A book report, please.
A book report, absolutely. The Big Potato is quite infamous in trying to sum up what has happened in the game so far.
I'm so bad at it. Like, I wish I had a skill to do that, but I do not.
Oh no! It's just I don't even know why there has to be a skill involved. Maybe I'm too expectant of your ability.
You don't have to be good at something to enjoy it or make it enjoyable.
Oh, I love when she does it though. I love when she does it. When she does start and she starts rambling, it's the best ever. It's just you never know what you're gonna get. You never know which direction it's gonna go. Or when it's gonna stop, which is just brilliant when it just keeps going. And then
In conclusion, you're good at summaries, not the usual kind of summaries.
You get there in the end. That's the. Whether people are still awake. That's
Do I get there in the end? It depends.
No, absolutely. Harley's reading a book right now too. I believe Shani said she was reading one. All my mods are reading. What's going on? You get together and get have a book club.
I haven't read a book in a very long time, but actually my coworker had suggested like reading before bed to like help ease myself into like going to sleep. It didn't help, but now I'm like really into this book, so it's still a win.
Well, I'm gonna.
The last book I read. Oh.
No, go ahead, please.
Okay. The last book I read was so I had a dry spell with reading, and was going through emotional stuff. And my sister lent me one of her books. She has a big collection as well. It's a French book. I think the translation in English is Chasing the Stars by Virginie Grimaldi, and it's slice of life story about a single mom and her two daughters, teenage daughter, young kid, and basically the mom has money problems and decides to go to her mom and say, okay, I need money, we're losing the flat, I lost my job and I need help. And the grandmother says, you know what, I'm going to give you money, you rent an RV, you take your dad's ashes and you go spread them in Norway. And the mom and the daughters take this road trip through Europe and start bonding because it's just really beautiful. In the there's three perspectives. You have the moms, the teenagers' blog, and the young kids' diary.
I like that. Oh, so it changes styles. That's quite cool.
Yeah, it's Chasing the Stars. It's really beautiful. It's a slice of life. There's not much adventure thing going on besides this very, you know how when you finish a book, usually you feel like, oh, I'm sad I finished it. You finish that book and you feel like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah,
Like I was standing in line at the airport for my check-in
like
when I went to see my mom last April, and I just standing there and reading my book and had a laugh out loud moment, and just like, oh, sorry, yeah, giggling to myself because of the book. And it's really one of the, if anyone is interested in something like a feel-good kind of thing that's emotional and has some deepness to it, recommend it.
Chloe doesn't read. Well, you can start now. It's a very therapeutic, especially if you don't read usually. If you can actually get through a book, I feel like that's actually quite an accomplishment, because to take yourself out of whatever it is you're doing, you need to close off your mind, or at least focus on what you're doing, to take in what you're doing and reading. It is a very non-passive activity to do, and I think it's very good for focusing. I think it's very good to increase your vocabulary, your mindset. I think you can explore ideas, because you have to use your mind, regardless of whether it's non-fiction or fiction. You still need to understand concepts and take in the imagery and project it back out. That requires a lot of attention and a lot of focus. I think you can do it. You will feel the benefits from reading. Absolutely, 100%. Oh, hello, Westy. Hello, welcome in. Hope everyone's doing well. I am too into. Meatloaf says I am too in the three books of occult philosophy, the foundation book of Western occultism. You speak my language, although I do usually stick to Eastern religion. But hey, you know what? You know, a lot of it will end up going back there anyway.
There's another French book that I read when I was 16, I think. It was from my mum's library. It was this thick. So she lent it to me one afternoon, and then on the next morning she found me still in my bed finishing it.
Oh, wow.
Like,
you're like Matilda.
You're supposed to be going to school, but I'm awake, am I not? And it's like this huge
tome, like... Yeah.
It's massive, and it's been put into live action film with a French actress. I think her name is Audrey Tautou. Or I think that's her. The one from Amélie.
Oh yes,
Amélie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And the author's name is Annie or Anne Galvada, something like that. And Together is Everything, I think, is the title in English. And there's also a bit of a slice of life kind of thing, and lots of interactions, and then it happens a lot in Paris and Christmas time, and heartbreak and friendships and growth. And she's an artist, and she doesn't trust herself to draw, and then she really gets into it, and then she's... I like that kind of shit.
I've just remembered a book. I've got a book. It's in the other room. I should have brought it here. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called House of Leaves. Have you heard?
I have not.
Oh, you have not heard of House of Leaves? It is one of the most meta books I've ever read in my life. And to say that I've read it is a bit of an achievement. It breaks all conventions of reading. And it messes with your mind a little bit. Like, constructing the narrative and actually getting through it, I would say, takes so much effort. It's one of those things where I don't really want to summarise it, because it's a bit too difficult. Let's just say it's about following someone making a documentary and discovering things, and someone else not believing them and trying to decipher the works of this person and what they had found. So you're basically following the trail of someone following a trail, but it breaks a lot of the conventions of what it's not a typical start this chapter, read end of chapter, and it's just paragraphs and blah blah blah. I know that sounds very simple for a book, that is what you expect. It breaks even that. There might be a page with one word on it, and they make sure that it actually ties into what is happening with the narrative itself. I don't know how else to put it. It's very well constructed, and I don't want to spoil anything, because it's one of those you'll want to read again to understand it. And that's amazing for an accomplishment for a book, to make you want to reread it, much like a film. I want to rewatch that again. Rarely do you get you into a book and go, I want to read that again, because it takes you a while. But this rewards you for rereading and understanding better. So I do recommend it. One thing I wanted to say, are you aware of the Knickerbocker collection? They are publishers of classic titles, and I wanted to show you a few that I've got, because I've got these massive tomes that I show off regularly. I've got like the works of Sherlock Holmes and Lovecraft and Edgar Allan Poe and Shakespeare and Dickens and all of these, and I have a few of these here which are the more flexi-bound books. And they've all got these fabulous designs and felt like coverings. This is The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. Unfortunately, it's not coming up on the light there. But I've got loads. I've got The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Again, just look at that. Look at that wonderful texture. Just fabulous on the binding there. Just
lovely. I'm looking at what's the monthly pricing thing? Is it a monthly books thing?
No. They just republished the books. You could get them on Amazon. Unfortunately, it's but they were quite pricey at the time. I've got to admit. When I got them, especially the bigger tomes, but I would say for what you get, reasonably priced actually. But yeah, I'll show you. As I say, I've got loads. I've got more H.G. Wells, Invisible Man, collection of Tarzan, Jekyll and Hyde, Dorian Gray, Moby Dick. Which is a tough read but very rewarding. Sleepy Hollow, Alice in Wonderland, Last of the Mohicans, Huckleberry Finn, Frankenstein, Dracula, Beowulf, all with these wonderful different felt designs. And as I say, I've got the bigger tomes as well. Here's the works of Dickens here. Just wonderful coverings. And I absolutely adore these. I love them to bits. There's the Divine Comedy there. Yeah, just beautiful.
You miss my books.
Edgar Allan Poe, which is actually one of my favourite coverings because it's got that golden yellow, that piss yellow colour that I made my own. the Grim Tales and Hans Christian Andersen, of course. I had to get these because I wanted to do. Rick Mayall used to do fairy tales, and he used to read a lot and do very elaborate acting and that, and I wanted to do that. It would be a dream come true to replicate that on stream. So
I would love for you to do that. I'm a big fan of fairy tales and any fairy tale theories.
So
I would hang on every word. I would even recommend you look into the French fairy tale collector Charles Perrault.
Oh, okay.
I'll send you the name later.
Oh,
because he's the French equivalent of Grimm brothers. They collected the tales that were oral tales and wrote them down. So they didn't invent the stories; they just collected them and wrote them down. And then you have the French version, Charles Perrault, who did the same with Sleeping Beauty and Puss in Boots and the original tales are so much more gruesome.
Oh, they are. Not a lot of people are aware of the dark history of a lot of the Disney tales.
Exactly. It's not all. Well, you have Christian Andersen, so have you read the original Little Mermaid?
I have. I actually read it to. I don't think she'll mind me saying. I read it recently to Harley to get to sleep at one point. And yeah, we were expecting something a little bit different.
Still beautiful ending, but it's not a whole new world.
No, it went places, didn't it?
Bless her.
Yes.
I think that's one of the reasons I dislike the Disney version of The Little Mermaid. Growing up, when I watched it after reading the original tale, I saw it and I was like, no. This is wrong.
That's
She's not suffering. She gets the happy ending. There's a second one. I like the second one, I'll be honest.
The second one, I've never actually seen it. I was aware of it. I remember the VHS, but no, I'm not aware of it. But actually, that's something that I talk about. As someone who loves literature, how do you feel when they are translated into film? And okay, a bit of a raid here. Hello. So netball team. Go on, chums. Hello, Adam. How are you, my friend? How are you? Welcome in. You have joined us during the Sun-Dried Bunnies Podcast, where we are joined by the fabulous, wonderful UpAlone, who's joining myself with Potato here. Welcome in, Adam. How are you? We'll give you a shout out there. I know you were playing a Superliminal. Have you heard of that game, UpAlone, Superliminal? Oh, you might. I don't know. You might like. It's quite a peaceful game, but then at the same time, it can be quite stressful. You change your perspective. You hold items and change the perspective by using the camera to make them bigger and smaller, and it plays with that kind of idea of perspective all the way through the game. It's crazy. And then he played DVD afterwards. But his brain hurts. You're not going to lie. I'm not surprised. I saw you. You didn't struggle away. You did very well, I've got to admit. There was a few puzzles that stumped you, but you did quite well. Finished in like 2-ish hours. It was a quick game. It is a quick game, admittedly. Shani, on the other hand, took 2 sessions and about 8 hours. And there was me trying to help her along without holding her hand too much. But no, well done for finishing it, Adam. Thank you for coming in with the raid. If anyone don't know me, I'm Sol. I am an improv comedian, a host, and a variety streamer, and I am currently hosting this wonderful podcast with my wonderful guests. So we're just talking about books, and I was just about to ask how you feel about books that translate to the film, and more importantly, when they translate, they're not that loyal to the source material, and yet that becomes the everyone knows and loves. How do you feel about that?
I think my favourite example for that is, have you seen the live-action movie, His Dark Materials?
I've seen The Golden Compass, yes.
Well, The Golden Compass, yes.
Yeah, I saw The Golden Compass, but I don't think...
Did you like
the
film? Did you like the film?
Did I like the film? It was okay. It was okay. I wouldn't say I loved it at all. I don't think it was a bad movie.
It was mediocre.
Yes. Yeah, very, very, very fair.
I know a few people that loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I know a few people that loved it.
No worries, Anna. Thank you very much.
Because they never read the books.
Right.
So having read the books, and one of the young adults writers I grew up with was Philip Pullman. So it's not just His Dark Materials or The Golden Compass as it's known now. It's also the Sally Lockett series, which is so much... it got so much shade, and it's so ridiculously sad because it's so amazing. There's one live-action film that was made from the Sally Lockett, I think, with Billie Piper, who I think I love very much.
Yes.
She is one of my biggest crushes.
Oh. I think I recall us having a conversation about Billie Piper, actually. Yeah.
I think yes.
Yeah,
yes, I do like Billie Piper.
It took me by surprise. I was like, "Why Billie Piper? I haven't heard that name in like 10 years. I'm scared."
And she played the version of Sally Lockett. So one of the authors I grew up with in writing is Philip Pullman. His Dark Materials, there's I think 4 books in that series. The books are enthralling, magical, the writing is sublime, the plot is beautiful, it's emotional, it drives you. It's one of the first fan fiction I wrote, I think.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't considered...
that's cool.
So I was 12, and it wasn't fan fiction per se. It was my own world with my own characters, and the main character had a demon, like in the
like the Familiar, yeah.
Exactly, the Familiar.
Yeah.
And it's just because it was such a lovely premise and the idea of travelling between worlds. And so the movie did not do it justice at all. It became a nice visualization, a good cast, and taking a very interesting premise, but trying to compress it without... I mean, the story, it goes on in situations where Lyra, she goes in the underworld and gets attacked by harpies, for example. It goes in direction that is so much beyond the daddy issues.
Mm-hmm. One thing I remember from the film is, do you know the City of Lost Children?
Yes.
You do. I found that the film seemed to have taken a lot more from that. I was noticing parallels between them, not knowing the works of the Golden Compass, His Dark Materials novels. I knew of the author because I've actually watched a lot of his talks. He does regular talks, so I was aware of him, but not of his work. And I was very confused why the film seemed to be mirroring another property rather than something I was aware was more original.
it feels like they didn't understand the original premise and went like, okay, so this is the rough idea. We can make it into something snazzy with like big name actors, and we're probably going to make loads of money for it. And you're like, no. The books are amazing.
It's 2 words that sum up what you've just described there. Silent Hill. Right? My passion, my love of Silent Hill as a concept, what Team Silent did is amazing. They handed it to American studios that did not understand alchemy, Eastern religion, didn't even incorporate the works of Junji Ito, didn't even give it a second look. They didn't understand it, and they went away and did that. Then they made movies, and oh my word, my mind is melting. Have you ever experienced that, Potato? Or are you? I mean, you say you don't read that regularly, but is there anything that you felt like hasn't translated well enough that might have angered you a bit, or just have you ever experienced that?
I can't think of one off the top of my head. I mean, I used to read a lot as a kid and stuff. I think the biggest problem I have is that when I watch a movie after reading the book, I forget how I originally like pictured the characters and like the places and stuff. Like I lose that like image that I had. It's always very different too. I also think sometimes I don't really picture it how the author intended. I kind of like picture it how I want to picture it, even if like maybe the details, even if they literally said like this person has brown hair, I like might picture them blonde or something.
I like that.
I always forget like how I originally pictured things, which is kind of a bummer.
Can't read the Rincewind series of novels of Terry Pratchett without doing Eric Idle's voice, thanks to the video games that I played and loved as a child. So even though there aren't nuances of that London sort of accent that Eric Idle has, or I just did then as right. It still comes through, and I adapt the dialogue just because that voice is so ingrained in my head. Sometimes I think it does help, especially if like you watch Doctor Who and you read the novels. I think it can work the other way around quite well. Because it does help you along. I think actually encourage. I think that's a good way to start, actually. If you're familiar with something like a television property and they have books that are quite original, maybe an adaptation, I think that's a great way to help you get into reading, I think, because it will help you picture things a lot easier and get you to get used to that process.
Some cinematographic adaptations were better than the books or literary works in some cases. So have you ever watched or read The Vampire Diaries?
No, I have not.
I think it's The Vampire Diaries.
I think Harley, did you mention Vampire Diaries once upon a time?
Is it Vampire Diaries? I think it's The Vampire Diaries. I'm not quite sure. My sister had the books and watched the series, and the series were not that bad. I think it's Vampire Diaries. And in the books, the protagonist is like a blonde Mary Sue with a younger sibling, and she's really developed as a character. She's very superficial. That's what I felt reading the books. Yeah, well, I think I read the first one, and then watching the series. Is it a series? I think it's Vampire Diaries. I'm not sure.
I definitely remember it being a series.
I think there's books before the series.
Right,
but the series are based on the books. I think that's the one. I'm not quite sure. Sorry if I'm smashing
something. There was True Blood.
No, I didn't watch True Blood.
Okay. Because that was rather similar from what I remember.
And no, I'm not confusing with Twilight. No, let's not go into Twilight. It's just like Twilight is one of the few books that I read the first one, read the second one because I kind of want to know what's going on, and then started the third one and went like, nope, that's it, no.
Yeah. And
it doesn't happen very often that I don't manage to finish a book.
But I admire that because you were not. The fact that you just went no, because if you're not, why force yourself to not have a good time?
Exactly.
It really bothers me when people do that. I'm like, come on, go do something better.
I don't want to diss. Exactly. I don't want to diss the people that love Twilight. I don't want to say like, I've never seen the film. I went to the cinemas with my mum and sister to watch the films. My mum and sister and I would howl like bitches when the boys would take their shirts off. I had no shame. It was fun.
Oh, dear.
We all had giggles.
Let's recreate.
I would not. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not something I would recommend as a good literature, but it doesn't mean that it's not good.
No,
it doesn't have to be good, strong, classic literature to be amazing. One of the good classic literatures I had to read in my literature courses, for example, was from a French author who is very much revered, and every French teacher is like, you need to read that book. So the writing itself is lovely, the plot itself is really nice, but the author's name is Honoré de Balzac, so Balzac, and
Balzac?
Father... Balzac, no. Balzac.
Okay.
Like Balzac coffee.
Oh, right, I got you. Yes.
Like Balzac coffee, it's named after him. So Father Goyer is the first book he wrote, and then there's another one. And he, at the time, was paid per page. So if you don't know that, when you read, at the time he earned his money with each page he wrote. So it ended in him being the perfect example of ongoing descriptions that are completely irrelevant to the plot, the story, or anything, and you just have like 25 pages about how paper is made. And you just go...
Right.
Sorry, and go back to the story, because it's completely irrelevant, but it's just like money.
That's...
And he's considered a go-to classic literature. Every kid should read anything by Balzac, and you're like, okay. So if it's good for you and if you enjoy reading it, it doesn't have to win a Nobel Prize or any kind of prize or Pulitzer Prize or private prizes there are nowadays. It doesn't have to have the... It can be a 99p book that you got at the train station, you read it and you liked it. Just enjoy it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just you do you.
No, absolutely. Yeah, you do. I think that's very fair. I feel like if you enjoy something, just embrace it, enjoy it, and own it. Yeah. You know, it's what you enjoy. There's no judgment on what you should and shouldn't enjoy. Yes, some things might be objectionably. Even then, that's still subjective. So no, I feel like no. I think there's no real. I think there might be more of a collective subjective opinion, but that's still at the end of the day an opinion.
But even then, let people enjoy things.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as Potato said, for example, once you watch the film of it or the adaptation of it, and it completely overtakes the image you had. I had that with Harry Potter, for example. I grew up with Harry Potter. I was 10 when my mum got me the first 4 books. And she started reading them to me, and then I just, so that I would go to sleep, she would read Harry Potter to me in French, and then I just grabbed the books and started reading them on my own, and then reread them, and just kind of got obsessed. Which is not surprising, I got to fan fiction. Like, I had posters of Harry Potter on my walls. Yeah. I brewed potions because as a kid I liked playing pretend witch.
You brewed potions?
I brewed potions.
Ooh.
I brewed potions, and one day when I was 6 years old, my family lost me at the beach. And everyone was panicking, and my great aunt found me in the dunes with a hole I had dug, doing like because I was being a witch brewing a potion.
I love that.
And I just went to anyway, and big nerd.
well, I've showed you my books. I want to see how big a nerd you are. What are you going to show me? Did you
wait, let me finish that before I...
sorry,
I had that with the first... No worries. I get distracted and I do a tangent, and then I distract myself and everyone. I know, sorry. But what I would say, Potato, I had the same with the first Harry Potter film. So the way I pictured Harry Potter is more looking like you, Sol.
Oh!
Yeah. So
wait a minute, I was called Harry Potter as a
Potter,
kid, actually. Because I had short hair and glasses.
Yeah, but from the physical build.
Oh, right, okay.
Build.
Oh. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and then the film came out, and then the eye colour was wrong, and everything was wrong, and it bothered me.
I see.
I still love the films. I've watched the films so many times.
Yeah.
Or Sirius Black, for example. I love how they portrayed Sirius Black in the films, obviously, but he's not the Sirius Black I had in the books, who was terrifying for me. Or the fact that in the movies they didn't add Peeves, the poltergeist.
Right, yeah, Rick Mayall was playing Peeves. And they just talked about the footage still exists, and they're going to re-release it possibly with that footage in it, which would be amazing. Because I never watched it because I heard they cut him, and I was so angry. I've never seen a Harry Potter film. So
I completely it's still a hurting moment. Like there's no peeves, and it's just missing a soul, a bit of the soul of the. Anyway, what I want to show you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. So as I said earlier, so I'm now in the UK and I lived in Germany for the last 18 years of my life. All of my stuff is still in Germany because I came over here with a suitcase, planning to do a 10-day holiday to stay with my partner. And
love
then,
having you here. Yes.
Sorry?
We love having you here. Yes.
I'm quite happy here. I've nested. I'm not leaving anymore. I have my own home. I have 2 jobs. I'm very happy. I'm just very overworked and very tired.
Oh.
But and so it was supposed to be a 10-day holiday in the summer. Packed for a 10-day holiday in the summer in the UK. So the second August ended, I was like, it's cold here. We're right by the beach, so it's really a gorgeous view. I walk 10 minutes, I'm by the beach, but it's...
Yeah, it is. I've been there, yeah.
So one of the things I missed, as vain as it is some of you may know that when streaming I had the redeem option of put on the tiara.
I was going to mention it. Yeah.
I don't have my tiara.
No,
I'm
you
not a
don't.
princess here. So I was at Tesco's and I saw in the reduced section because it was like expiry date, and I would have never seen it otherwise. I was just walking past and I saw this massive box with a pink princess cake and this tiara.
Oh, there is a tiara. I love it. Absolutely.
I saw it and I was like,
yes. I remember. I've seen those when I've been in Tesco's actually. Yeah.
It's a very, very plasticky. As a 4-year-old, I would have hated it. Like as a kid, I would have hated it. I was like, "Why are you trying to make me a princess?" I am not 29 years old, and I'm a fancy little princess, so I like unicorns, and I'm okay with it.
Mhm. I love it. I had tiara written down on my notes as well, just because I had to bring it up. I loved that. I loved when you used to do that. It was the first time I actually seen redeems in on stream, being something that you actively did. Many of the streamers had the basics that I went to, very, very fundamental stuff, and you just simple thing of putting on a thing. Well, that's well, then I'll go get my stuff.
Exactly. That's why when you did it, I was like, "Oh, that is so cool."
It's my top
Another
hat.
one of my favorite streamers, Ed, for example, when he came on and was like, "Oh, Jared's so cool." He did the same with the crown.
Okay, see, love that.
And after a while, I'm like, actually, I'm going to put the crown on a timer because it hurts when you wear it too much. And that's actually, I'm going to learn from you and put the tiara on the timer because it really hurts after a while.
That's what it's all about. That's what we learn from each other, and the influence. Yeah. Right, I stopped in someone we met recently in the community is Pajama Mike. A lot of people are only just starting to get to know Pajama Mike. Wonderful streamer, hilarious, wonderful guy. I hadn't been there for a while, so I was a bit ill and I took a step back for a little while. So I came into the stream and he said, "SolTheSeeker, hello cherub," and then he just said, gave me an amazing shout out verbally, not just like in the chat, and said that I was very inspirational to him. And I'm like, what do you do with that? I'm doing something that my peers can even, because that's how I've grown. I've seen what people do, and I'm like, "How that's interesting. Wonder could I do something similar, or how can I make it my own?" I'm definitely not just going to go, "I'm going to do what they do," but I definitely.
It would be rude to just copy them and not mention it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
If you get inspired, the least you can do is say, "Okay, I've seen this on this streamer, and I love their work, and I love what they do, and I'm going to try and see if I can implement it."
Yeah, very much. Yeah, and just to hear that is wonderful, and I try to do that to whoever I've taken any kind of inspiration from, because it really was amazing to walk in and see loads of people that I expected just to play good video games, and to walk into the first Death Violet stream when she was sculpting, like, wow, people do art on here, this is amazing. Meatloaf playing his guitar, it's all Harley singing, and yourself reading amazingly bad fan fiction. Like, we can stop and be crazy, and we can stop or be creative, and we could do elaborate things. The game is not the end all be all. We're here for the social interaction and the engagement and the experience we create.
Funnily enough, the next step to the fan fiction reading, what it inspired, as bad as it was it inspired a book club. So if I hadn't stopped streaming, I had a next step, which was have a redeem for the book of the month. Read something from that book. So I had a few books set aside, including Alice in Wonderland, Bram Stoker's Dracula, a good classic that are fun to read. We were supposed to do dramatic reading with friends, and it always fell through. I think the date we were supposed to do it was the time I arrived in Paris, and my flight had been delayed. I arrived late. Everyone tired, and it just like went. Well, it's not. It fell through, and that's a bit sad. But this it's like what you did with show something random. When I did a 12-hour stream for some celebration of something, my mum had the idea that I should have a redeem, which I implemented, of change an outfit, which was redeemable every hour or something.
Right, yeah.
And then someone would have to give a colour, and I would change it to that
That's
outfit.
right.
So it was a red dress.
I remember the red dress. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, one of the red dresses I have. I think I have one here. Anyway. Or a yellow, and I would put on the gold sequin dress, like something massive. And it just, because I have so many clothes. And every hour change the outfit, because that way the time passes a bit smoother, that kind of stuff. So it's so nice to have these options of I was talking about with my housemate, who so she has a puppy. She and her partner have a puppy, and I was talking about how I want to go back to stream, and she went, you could technically do a puppy cam.
Yeah.
She could do a puppy cam with her puppy, or a bird cam, because she has like 16 budgies.
Oh wow! Oh, that's unique. I've never seen anything like that before. That's cool.
They are really cute. They are really cute too. Like she can, she opens the cage and has millet in her hand, and they're flying, and you have one on your finger, and they're so tiny and warm, and you feel their heartbeat, and they're eating from your hand, and you just go like, that is so soothing. Oh, you're so tiny. I don't want to sneeze. You will die from a heart attack.
Thank you very much for the follow there. I believe that was Rose. Rose, have fun. Rose, have fun. I hope you have fun, Rose. You always have fun here. You've joined us on the Sun-Dried Bunnies Podcast with the wonderful UpAlone. And one thing you touched on there is you don't stream, but let's talk there. If you return to streaming, do you have any aspirations to come back?
Yes, I'm starting to slowly build up my setup. So the friend I mentioned, who is you've met her on Basis streams, or she's in his Discord as well, Divine C.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she's been amazing since I've been here. She has been such a truly honest, supportive friend, and it's a blessing. And she gave me her old laptop, her old gaming laptop, because she has this massive PC setup that makes anyone jealous. It's so beautiful. It's the goal. You look at it and you go like, that is a gaming boner right there. And excuse my French. And I really want to get her streaming, because when I get or at least so she's agreed to play some games with me, because she's so cute. Anyway.
Brilliant.
And so she gave me her laptop for work. I actually got some home office stuff, so I have 2 monitors that were given by my work for home office. So
for a bonus, yeah.
Yeah. I just need to get some space set up. We have a very big bedroom, but currently it's a bit. Just need to get settled.
Okay.
And then when that is done, I'll put on a screen or curtain kind of thing behind me as a background. Have a desk there, my setup there, be it my office and gaming area, and I'll go back to streaming.
Excellent. I mean,
that's going to take.
I cannot wait, because one thing I've realised just from this conversation alone is the amount of memories that you created for me, and hopefully for yourself as well. But like, I can remember pretty much every stream I ever went to of yours. I remember us playing that theme park game. Is it 2 point something? 2 point.
2 Point Hospital, yeah.
Hospital, yeah. I remember that stream. It was quite early on. I mean, I remember you playing Bayonetta, which was towards one of your last streams.
Yeah, it was the second to last game I played.
Yeah.
The last game I played on stream was Don't Starve Together, because I need to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
So the last stream I had was an escalation of negativity in many ways, where I ended up banning someone from my stream, and it just made me so incredibly emotional because it was so unnecessary. So I remember I was playing Bayonetta and something happened, and I can't believe this is just so incredibly rude, and this, I can't believe this just happened.
Right.
I stopped Bayonetta and said, I'm just going to go to Don't Starve Together, and played for about an hour and a half or something, just rambling to myself, explaining what I do, how it goes, then died a couple of times, and I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. Raided, I don't remember who I raided, and I didn't know it was going to be my last stream. It's just...
Yeah.
Things happened where I lived at the time. Well, you knew the situation, I think, at the time, that it was a bit difficult, and it was a bit nasty. And then I managed to get out and be happy and move on with my life, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the one book I managed to take with me is one book I have not read yet. It's the last book I bought, which is the Tale of Genji, and it is the world's earliest novel.
Oh, is it really?
It is.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's the Tale of Genji. It was written in Japan in the 10th century.
Wow.
And I haven't gotten around to reading it. I tried reading it on the plane over, and I was just too distracted and excited because there was no way. But yeah, I'm not going to read shit. Yeah. Which is like looking at the window, customs, looking at people going, move forward, go on, come on.
The energy.
In the train, I had it in my hand. I had my hand, I was shaking. I was like, nope, not reading. Just looking out the window, taking pictures of stuff. I'm in England. I'm in England. I made it.
I love your pictures. Whenever you go to places, you take so many great, wonderful pictures. I love seeing them all the time. Please, I encourage you to do it more.
Well, the next holiday I'm taking is not going to leave the UK, so we're taking a short holiday end of March.
Okay.
And I'm probably going to take some pictures there as well.
They're always fabulous to see. They really are.
So the first week I was here, we went, so Base, DVNC, her partner, and they took me to see a bit of Brighton, especially the Brighton Pier, and there is a big arcade there.
That's right, there is. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
So we played games the entire afternoon. It was lovely.
Nice.
And at the end, everyone was really cute, and everyone gave me their tickets.
Oh.
So I redeemed them for a Brighton tea towel, which I sent to my mum, and this one.
Hey, look at
that. Which is also.
It's got an evil face. I didn't know that. I didn't know a little evil one as well. That's brilliant. I love that.
It's a reversible octopus that goes like, I'm happy. I'm angry.
It's a nice beacon. If anyone enters the house, they see it's red. Right. Steer clear.
Towards you, like, yes.
I love
that. Is a very adequate description of my angry mood too, like the cranky, which makes everyone run away, and they've gotten used to it, and I bless them for that. It's like we did Secret Santa over Christmas, and I got a mug that says, "I'm not always a bitch. Just kidding. Go fuck yourself."
I remember I got sent the postcards. Finally, I got my postcard, and you wrote inside here is the spattiest thing I believe I can think of, and I opened it up, and it just said, "Do you remember? Ankles." Yeah.
Exclamation mark. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
I did say I would send you something smutty.
You did. You absolutely did. You lived up to that. Oh yes. Anytime.
I still have a bunch of postcards I need to send out. I'm so behind.
I love that idea. It's such a great community idea as well. But no, every time if there's a video, if I'm watching a stream or anything, and there's ankles shown, immediately ankles. Whoa! Just because of that.
That's smart.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the peak. Right. Well, I'm glad, UpAlone, to hear that you're going to get your set back together, and we can be graced with your presence once more. Because we have missed you, we do adore you, and there was definitely a time where you used to come to my stream and fall asleep, and obviously I did move earlier, and you've been working very hard. And I should point out, we really do appreciate your time here, because I do know that you're working very hard at the moment. So thank you very much for that.
It's really a pleasure to
but
be
you
here.
did sort of disappear for a long period of time, and it wasn't like, oh no, where's she gone, right? But it was definitely more sort of, oh, I hope we see her again, and because we do love and adore you very much in the community.
Keeping in touch, but it's not that I don't. I try to keep in touch in a very awkward way.
Yeah.
Like, I message, how you doing? You message back, and 3 days later, I'm like, oh, by the way, I wanted to answer. I thought about answering you. I had an answer in my mind, and I got distracted by a shiny thing.
Yes, it's been
Very
so
sorry.
nice to see you on screen and hear your voice again. No, absolutely, no, it's absolutely fun. You come up with the Cessies, of course, which is what we know known in the Discord. I did try Cesspitian. That is the singular to the Cessies. Cesspitian. Thank you very much, because Potato's been working very hard in this school. We have a coffee bot there now, where you can come in and get
I remember that.
get a drink now, and tea, and we're adding. I think we're adding a few other things, aren't you, Potato?
I have a plan to add lots of things. I'm just being slow.
No, it's great. It's creating a lovely. You coined the community, and we love it because it's growing, and it's wonderful. We really thank you for being here. But before we do wrap up here tonight, we do normally do a little segment, Soul's Sayings, and they're British terms that most people don't seem to understand. And what we've been going into recently is Cockney rhyming slang. So that's, for anyone who isn't aware, it's where I say something and something, and the last word tends to rhyme with the thing I'm actually trying to talk about. So, for example, last 2 weeks ago, the last podcast, I did dog and bone, that's phone. So I need to go and get the dog and bone. Okay?
Yeah, these make no sense.
Or I'm going to just go across the Frog and Toad to the shop.
The road.
The road, that's right.
Oh,
yes.
you mean? Oh, okay. It's like in.
Hey, Priggle, how are you? Welcome in.
What's it called? Horrible History, or what it's called?
Oh yes, Horrible Histories. Yes.
There's I've been recommended to watch the bit about Cockney slang because I'm interested. Okay.
So I've got two for you here. I'm going to do an easy one that's quite common, and one that's not as well known, but you might be able to get it. So the first one, without any context: apples and pears. Ooh. They're thinking.
Well, it's not bears.
Then, and this one's the common one, I should say.
So if it's common, it's not going to be something that's there.
I mean, if I put it in context, I think you're going to get it straight away. So I'm going to hold off just a bit. Oh, don't look at the chat. Don't look at the chat.
I just looked at it. Sorry.
I should have preempted that actually.
And I just went
Potato, have you got?
Oh, I looked at the chat.
Oh, you look at the chat. Okay, well, yeah. Going up the apples and pears. It is the stairs. Yeah, going up the old apples and pears. Yeah, I'll go get that. I'll just go fetch it from the up the apples and pears. Yeah. It's a weird. No, you're all right, Westy. You're right. I normally preempt that. That was my fault. That one. That was my fault. Oh no, you didn't have to delete it. It's all right. It's okay. No, it's all right.
We all saw it. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay, Harley. No, that was my fault. All right. This one. Here we go. All right. This one's difficult. I feel you're going to nail it straight away. I bet you. All right. All right. Okay. Here we go. Borrow and beg.
Borrow and beg.
Mm-hmm. Now, this one isn't actually in common. Well, it's not in common usage enough. You won't hear it as much as the others that we've done so far. I would say it's a bit outdated, but the thing it's referring to is definitely not.
Beg a leg.
Borrow and beg leg.
Leg is like the only thing I can think of that rhymes with beg.
Oh my, borrow and beg. I can see where you're coming from. actually.
Bee and eggs.
Yeah.
Leg.
It's
egg,
not. It's not leg. Okay,
egg.
no, it's not leg. Oh, what was that last one there?
Egg. Peg.
Peg, egg. Which
Yeah.
one? Which one are you going for?
I don't know. You say I don't know.
I think
Breakfast in bed.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think if it was peg, given the other usage of that word now, you probably hear it a little bit more.
Borrowed peg. Sounds incredibly kinky. Sorry. I don't think I should answer that now.
No, it's you did actually say it is egg. Borrow and beg. Can I have a borrow and beg an egg? Yeah. I suppose because eggs are quite useful ingredients, so you might borrow them. So I think that might be where it's come from.
And depending on the times where it originated, eggs might have been rarer and more expensive, so you might have to borrow an egg and beg for it, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. My grandpa used to say it. Oh, really? Oh, I've never actually heard that one being said out loud, but I've always been aware of it. It's a very odd one, nevertheless. Thank you for playing that little game. I'm sure I have more. We used to do these crazy idioms all the time and see if anyone could work them out, but I started to run out because a lot of them now, being worldwide on the internet, a lot of them have actually become quite common. A lot of people know them. Yeah. So, but I thought I'd go with the Cockney rhyme and slang because people are just completely mind blown by it sometimes. Especially as it's not really in common usage that much anymore. It's rare, even my father uses it. So, yeah, he's a boomer. So, you know, I think that's the correct term, right? That's the generation.
I think your grandparents had boomers.
Yeah, well, he is old enough to be my grandfather, so because he had it quite late. So that, I think he post World War II, he was born. So I think that works out just about right. He's in his 70s now. Post
World War II was boomer because of the baby boom.
That's right. Yeah.
That's what. Oh, fair enough.
I was always so confused when he said that stuff. I think as are the entire audience, but nevertheless. Thank you so much for giving us your time this evening. It's been amazing, a long time coming. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being here and sticking around to the end. I know it was a bit longer than usual, but when I'm with someone that I absolutely adore and to get into conversations that I never want to end, it's hard to make me stop. So,
you forgot one thing.
Oh yes.
My nickname.
Yeah. Oh,
that came from UpAlone.
That is very true. It did. Patats is coined. My word, you have founded this entire podcast community. It is all you up. That's amazing.
And I always say how I always wanted like a nickname, and like I finally got one that stuck, and it's awesome, and I love it.
I think even the emote that you made is called Patats. Like it's if anyone doesn't know what that emote is, I believe it is still in there as a follower one. There it is. Yeah, it is called Patats. Big Potato drew this monstrosity, and even she didn't want it on her channel, so I said, I'm having that. I love that. And thank you, Potato, thank you for being the Patats once again. Are those pajama bottoms you've got on?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not gonna wear like jeans right now. Are you kidding me?
I don't know. I just saw the tartan leg, and I'm just so used to. I was like, okay, pajamas. Okay.
I am comfortable right now.
I appreciate it very much.
Bottom part needs to be comfy when you're on camera.
Yes, absolutely. She's got the bear the pig as well. It's like me in bed. But no, I appreciate it very much. Thank you for your time today. Thank you so much, UpAlone. This has been wonderful. This episode will be up on YouTube and distributed across your Discord so that the world can see it and stand the test of time as a moment in your life. I don't know what I'm talking about now. I'm rambling. But,
you have made me very emotional.
Well.
Curse you.
Yeah. Yes, both joy some emotional sadness there, and anger for making me feel these things.
Why you make me feel things, my heart hurts.
No, I absolutely love it. Thank you so much. Everyone, we will be back in just a few minutes. I'm going to say goodbye to our guests off screen, and we will be back with I've got an escape room game to play tonight, and we're going to play a bit of Dark Deception. I'm going a bit later than usual because I want to. So, yeah, so there we go. I want to challenge my old brain once again. So we will be back very shortly. In the meantime, you get to look at Bernard, because I don't have my other Be Right Back at the moment, so I hope you don't mind, Potato. And we'll be back in just a few minutes. So until then, thank you so much for joining us here, and thank you once again. And we'll see you in a few moments. Farewell. Farewell.